is up, my ASMR and fragrance family? It's your boy, Christopher Cologne, your whispering perfume pimp. So what I have for this video is, it was going to be just 10 colognes for Thanksgiving, but I figured I'd break it down for different places around the United States, because it's going to be, the weather is going to vary across the United States. So I looked up the 10-day forecast and looked up the forecast for like each area. I broke it down to like Southwest, and then I did 3 states, the big states: Florida, California, and Texas. I did those as their own thing, but yeah, Southwest, California, Northwest, Midwest, Northeast, South, the South, and then Texas and Florida. So we're going to start out with the Southwest. So you have New Mexico, which is going to be 50 degrees and partly cloudy. Arizona is going to be 75 degrees and partly cloudy. Nevada will be 61 degrees and partly cloudy. Utah will be 47 and rainy. And Colorado will be 48 and partly cloudy. Now, this forecast might change from now to Thanksgiving, but that's just what it is today on this, what's today? Thursday? Yeah. So what I'd probably go for there is, considering it's in like it's anywhere from the upper 40s to the mid 70s. I'd probably go with like, you could go with Afnan 9 p.m. Afnan 9 p.m. You could go with, I wouldn't wear this in the heat, so yeah, this would go good for then. Might not wear it in 75 degree weather, depends on the humidity, but since it's Arizona, it would be dry, wouldn't it? So yeah, I guess this could work, but some other ones that could work, you have hazel cognac, so that would go good. That way, whenever I was thinking about this, I was thinking about colognes that would go with the food. So this would go good, because it's got a boozy sweetness to it. Maybe like a leafy, like a tobacco leaf to it. So, and this is by Niche for All hazel cognac. And then you go with Glenberry or Berry Unpredictable You. Sprayed this on earlier. I forgot how much I like this fragrance. Okay, and this is moving like more towards your Paco Rabanne 1 million. So that's what it's going towards. Kind of has like a fruitiness to it, and it has a spiciness, or it does have a real spiciness to it. Kind of has a booziness to it, I guess you could say. Yeah, a little bit leathery, a little spicy, kind of fruity in a way. So I don't know if I've ever looked up the notes to this. I'm gonna look up the notes to this. Okay, so you can get this for like 20 to 25 bucks. Now the notes are, I love the bottle, and the notes are, hold on. Okay, and the notes are bergamot, lemon, and grapefruit, and then the heart notes are lavender, marine notes, and green apple, and the base notes are amber, patchouli, and musk. I'm surprised this doesn't come out like a spicier. I'm surprised it doesn't have spicier notes to it. But yeah, I love this stuff. Like I said, it's like moving towards this the way a Paco Rabanne 1 million smells. Yeah, and then maybe you could go into, you could go into Valentino Uomo Aqua. This is watery, green, powdery. I like this stuff. So yeah, this would work good for the 75 degrees and the 61 degrees. So, and I think this has been discontinued though. that's 75 degrees for Arizona. You can always go with CK1 or one that's kind of similar to it. Dolce & Gabbana light blue. Dolce & Gabbana light blue, the original. Now you can go with light blue summer vibes, which to me is just a spicier version of the original. So yeah, I mean, there's, you can go with plenty of others too. Okay, now we'll go into California because that's what I have on my notebook next. California. So California, LA. So we're going from southern, like San Diego, LA, Sacramento, 70, 67, and then 62, and then Humboldt, which is up north. Northern California is 60 degrees. All of it, everywhere is supposed to be partly cloudy. So the good thing about 60 and 62 is, you can wear a spicier fragrance. So you can wear a spicier fragrance. You can wear something that's more gourmand. Like fall time gourmand. Because if you this is more of a gourmand, but Banana Republic, pomegranate, but this is more like your summer gourmand. It's juicy and fruity and everything. So, but yeah, so Glenbury Unpredictable You would work. Another one that would work is Brave in Love, which is a clone of Love Don't Be Shy, and this is by the clone, which I have an affiliate link. I'll put in the description or the comments. But yeah, this has this nice sweet, kind of watery. Does have like a marshmallow to it. It has a I don't know, a gourmet, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But yeah, so there's that for that, and then you can go and you could wear like Jimmy Choo Urban Hero would be good for that. Would be good for that weather. I haven't worn this in a long time either. Damn, this smells different than what I remember it smelling. Not saying it smells bad, but for some reason I was thinking it smelled more closer to the Glenbury, but spray for me, spray for y'all. Yeah, that's fruity. Got a little bit of a spiciness to it too. But yeah, so you could wear that, would work well in that weather. The hazel cognac would work good. You could still wear like the summer vibes and stuff. Yeah, you can still wear the summer vibes. Another thing that would be good is Valentino Born in Roma Yellow Dream. Now, I don't like this anywhere near as much as I do my other Valentino. But it's still good. That was bad. Spray for y'all, spray for me. Yeah. Fruity, sweetness, kind of spiciness to it. Oh yeah. So, yeah, those are some that would work. Tommy Hilfiger would work. So, a bunch of my Michel Germains would work. But yeah, that's the good part about that weather. You could kind of work with both, both sides. You could work with both, more like your winter stuff, or you could still work with your summer stuff, because it's it's that in between weather. You know, it's not too cold, it's not too hot. It's just right. Okay, now for the Northwest, which I have Washington State, Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, and Montana. And Washington State is supposed to be 51 degrees and rainy. Montana is supposed to be 38 degrees and snow. Wyoming is supposed to be 42 and snow. Idaho is supposed to be 48 and partly cloudy. And Montana is supposed to be 38 and snow. So, yeah, good amount of snow coming through. So we could go with warm fragrances on. We can go with warm fragrances there for sure. Then you have for that. You can go with one of my absolute favorites. Nice little cheapie. Usher Homme. I love this stuff. It's weird as it sits though. When you smell the atomizer, it doesn't smell good. But as you spray it, I don't know, you spray it a couple times and get that stuff out of the line, it smells better again. Like, I love this shit, but I'll only wear this in cold weather. So. Rayanne Tradition, the original Insurrection. Now this is more like, this probably puts a lot of people in more of an old man vibe. So, but I like it. Spray for y'all. Spray for me. This is real powdery and vanilla. Powdery and vanilla is mainly what this is. So, we have Dolce & Gabbana, the one. This is another darker fragrance. Sweet, sandalwood, creamy. Doesn't last, doesn't last as long as it probably should, considering it is Dolce & Gabbana fragrance. Then we have Halloween Man X, which is it's crazy, man. How I start spraying these things and I start getting pressure, like it starts feeling like the inside of my head is tightening up on me. That's crazy. It doesn't feel like muscles. It feels like more like on the inside, and it'll be like on this side, or it'll be more in the center. But just crazy shit. Yeah, if fragrances does anything like that to y'all, comment, let me know, because like I've said before, I have a friend, I've had a friend and known people and stuff throughout the years, and heard other people talk that say they can't even handle fragrances. So, but yeah, so this is your dark roast coffee, Halloween Man X is your dark roast coffee, so that's good for cold weather. Blend Afghano is another dark roast that would be good. So, then you have your smoked leather by Jean-Marc Paris, or Jean-Marc Paris. I gotta find out how his name is pronounced. But yeah, smoked leather. And I don't like really smoky fragrances, but I like this one. Then you got Versace. Then we have Versace Eros Flame. And I like this, but I like Eros EDP, more. I think this smells more like an old man's fragrance, in all honesty. So, it smells good, but I think it belongs more on an old man. Or I can, not necessarily belongs, but I can see it on an old man more than a see, or I can smell it coming off an old man before I could a younger person, you know. So, but yeah. And then cold weather, you can go into like the tobacco and tonka bean. Spray for y'all, spray for me. I love this stuff. Definitely get the tobacco out of it. You definitely get the tonka bean out of it. So, yeah. And then you can roll with, if you wanted to roll with a couple more dark fragrances like that for that time, for that day, you could go with more niche for all, which they have patchouli TB, but I'm not going to get that down more than likely. But then you got tobacco vanilla, and then you have cardamom vanilla. Both be good for Thanksgiving dinner on a cold day. So, and then you got hash intense. Now this probably wouldn't be for everybody, but if you wanted to stand out, this is definitely it. My 17-year-old son, he loves this shit. So, and whenever I get this out, I always mention him because I know people like to hear like about, you know, age groups and stuff like that whenever it comes to fragrances, because a lot of people talk about, oh, that's a younger man's fragrance, or that's an older man's fragrance, or that don't belong on an older person, you know, that this and that. So yeah. And to me, this is more of your like sophisticated, different, because it has a cannabis note in it and everything, but and it doesn't smell like baby wipes, but at the same time it kind of does. So that's just what I think about. But yeah. Okay. Okay, and then we have the Midwest, which is Kansas City, which will be 42 degrees and partly cloudy. Iowa, which will be 38 degrees and partly cloudy. Minnesota, well, and this goes up into the north too, pretty much. Minnesota will be 29 degrees and partly cloudy. Detroit will be 37 and rain and snow. Chicago will be 35, and I think rain. And then, because I marked it out, but I'm pretty sure it's rain. And then Green Bay will be 32 degrees and partly cloudy. And North Dakota will be 23 degrees and partly cloudy. So, I guess I'd say I'd go with all those same fragrances too that I just mentioned, because they're cold weather fragrances. But yeah, we could go into other ones too, like my Ed Hardy Skulls, because that's a very vanilla fragrance. Hot Pepper by what's her name's? Azzaro. I think Halloween Man Shot and Rock On work better for cooler and cold weather too. So these two would work. Yeah, and then like another one you could do with that is you could do Mocha Wood, which spray for y'all, spray for me. Kind of puts you in the mind of root beer. Like root beer. Good old sarsaparilla. Yeah, root beer and something else. I can't think of what it is right now because I got so many fragrances that I can go over. So, yeah, just pretty much all those same fragrances. I mean, then you could probably add like the Dua brand. I got Pistachio Cream Delight. Pistachio Cream Delight. This is a good. It smells kind of chocolatey. But yeah, that's a good one to wear to dinner. Make people ready for dessert. Yeah, so those same type of fragrances. And then we have the Northeast. So the Northeast, Boston is supposed to be 51 degrees and partly cloudy. Pennsylvania is supposed to be 53 degrees and partly cloudy. DC is supposed to be 53 degrees and partly cloudy also. New York, 52 degrees and sunny. Baltimore, damn, I forgot to write it down for Baltimore. And then Portland, Maine is supposed to be 49 degrees and partly cloudy. So yeah, so you could rock all those. Here's some other ones you could rock for that type of weather too. And for that type of weather, of course, you go with Dior Sauvage EDP. So, yeah. Then Juniper Vanilla. This is a good vanilla heavy fragrance by Niche for All. If you like vanilla, I highly recommend Patchouli TB, which is going towards a like Paco Rabanne 1 million. Then you got Oriental Incense, and this might be my darkest fragrance, smokiest fragrance. So if you like real dark, real smoky fragrances, this is for you, especially in that type of weather, and especially in the cooler weather. So then you got Lalique Encre Noir Al Extreme. I don't like this one. It's weird. It's not that I don't like it. Well, yeah, it is, but like I like it, and then sometimes I don't. So it's boozy. It's kind of spicy, kind of earthy. So, but yeah. Then you have CK Shock, which CK Shock, I haven't smelled this thing in over a year. Come to think about it. Damn, that's crazy. We're gonna smell it right. Shit. So we're gonna smell it right quick. Spray for y'all. Spray for me. Yeah, sweet, spicy, somewhat fruity. Kind of green because it has like a clove. It has like a clovish scent to it, I think. Yeah. And then we have Bulgari Glacial Essence. Bulgari Man Glacial Essence. I'm not gonna spray this because it's, I ain't gonna be able to really smell it like that. But plus, I don't know, Bulgari Man, for some reason this bothers me. Like it has since I got it. It sucks. I'm trying to sell that shit for like $50. Sell it for like $50. I paid like 80 or 90 for it, and I wore it like a couple times, and I might have given a little bit of it away. I can't remember, but yeah. So, and then we have the Barbell. say? Looks like a barbell. Spray for y'all, spray for me. Spicy. Smells kind of... This is changing. This is changing. I don't like it like I used to, but when I did, before it started changing, this smelled really good. I kind of wish I would have wore it more now. But yeah, this has kind of a fresh spiciness to it, so. And then you could wear pretty much all the other ones I'm talking about. And then you could wear pretty much all the other ones I'm talking about in this, in that weather. So, God, I got a whole bunch of colognes I gotta put up now. Okay, now in the south, Charlotte is going to be 61 degrees. Arkansas is going to be 52 degrees and partly cloudy. Charlotte's going to be partly cloudy too. Atlanta is supposed to be 59 degrees and rainy, and Alabama is supposed to be 58 degrees and rainy. So 58 for Atlanta and Alabama. I guess I would go with something more warm, you know, maybe like a Versace Eros EDP or a dark roast type fragrance or a kind of more darker smoky fragrance, you know. I guess that's what I would go with for more of a darker powdery fragrance, vanilla and powdery and stuff like that, you know, for that type of weather. For partly cloudy and 61, like Charlotte and Arkansas, 52, between 52 and 61. I mean, you could still go with these, but I would probably go with something, especially in the 60s. Like in the 60s around here, it's still pretty warm. You know, I live not far from Charlotte, so you could go with the Tommy Hilfiger, you know, for spicy green. Instead, but the spiciness is really what does it. Azzaro Cologne Intense. You go with Loewe Sport. You go with a Michael Kors. Michael Kors is a fresh spiciness and it has kind of a powdery muskiness to it. Yeah, I kind of did this. I kind of made the wrong choice to do this video because I'm burning out. I'm ready to get this video over with. Okay, now we have Texas, and then we have Florida. So Fort Worth, Texas is going to be 60 degrees and partly cloudy. Brownsville, Texas, which is right on the border of Mexico. I'm pretty sure it's on the border of Mexico and Texas, because whenever I looked that one up, I looked it up purposely, the southernmost southernmost town in Texas, and that's what it pulled up. So, but that's supposed to be 73 degrees and partly cloudy. And El Paso is supposed to be 67 degrees and partly cloudy. So, you could go with a fragrance like light blue or Dolce & Gabbana's light blue summer vibes, or you could go with Dr. Squatch rainforest mist. I mean, you can pretty much go with every Dr. Squatch fragrance in that type of weather. So, but this would be good, and this is just your real fresh, clean and spicy scent. So yeah, you could go with, and yeah, like I was saying, in weather like that, you could go with all kinds of stuff. Now in Florida, Miami is supposed to be rainy and 82 degrees. Now, that right there, I'd want fresh, like really fresh. So I'd go with like Missoni Wave, and I love Missoni Wave. It's heavy vanilla, but it's really fresh and clean at the same time. and smooth. It's like a vanilla lemon. But yeah, it's fresh and clean and smooth. Magnetic cap also. But yeah, I love this stuff. One of my favorite ones. Been a long time since I smelled that one too. Okay, and then like it's supposed to be 78 in Tampa Bay and cloudy, and then 76 in Jacksonville and rain. So, you know, Dr. Spot's fragrances would be good. Dunhill Century. I mean, not Century, Dunhill Driven EDT would be good. Then CK1 would be good. CK1, which Michelle Germain Sexual Fresh would be good for that. Then you could go really cheap and just get you some Nautica Voyage. Nautica Voyage. Been a long time since I smelled this too. That smells good. Fresh cucumber smell. But yeah, or you can go with this right here. 82 degrees and rainy. So it's probably going to be humid considering it's Florida. Yeah, I'd want like a fresh, juicy kind of smell. So I'd probably go, what I'd go with the most is probably the Missoni or this or the Voyage or the Dunhill Driven. That's probably what I'd go with the most in all honesty. But yeah, y'all. So that's some of my suggestions for wearing stuff by the weather to Thanksgiving dinner next week or this week or whenever it is that you're watching this. So, but when I'm recording this, it's 7 days away. So, but yeah, I'm gonna get off here, y'all. Y'all take it easy. Have a good one. And peace, peace, peace.